Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh
I'm
no.
recording.
All right. Cool. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Okay, we're going to introduce this. Okay. Now, the question that's on everybody's minds is, who is this guy? This obviously Australian guy who's speaking. Yeah, what? I mean, I'm not talking to any Australian people, so what accent should I actually be taking on? But yeah, I'm I'm Johnny Natrium actually. I'm actually I'm actually stealing your part of the introduction from you now because Al here, who's with me, he was supposed to introduce me and I was supposed to introduce the game. Um,
Oh well. It just goes like that with LPs, but I'll introduce the game myself and say that it's Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation. Way, we did it.
yeah,
Go us.
and seriously, the only way that you know that is because you're reading it on the screen right now.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah, because yeah, okay, so it's you were actually saying that you could, like, you were saying something about like how, is this the first one or is this the fourth one?
Yeah,
Because
I can't tell because I am a total noob. So by all means, if people want to leave, just angry rabbit comments in the description, what the fuck about it,
well,
about the
well,
comments of this video, then go ahead because I'm a
well,
noob.
yeah.
So
I'll comfort you in one fact. I don't have an audience, so there probably won't be many of those comments appearing. But
you never know.
I can say, the Tomb Raider games were made in a pretty short time span, I guess. Well, it's all right. Like the first one was from 1996. You would definitely see the difference in that, between those games. And this one I think is from 1999 actually.
Oh wow, I didn't realize. Jesus Christ, they worked fast. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's how games went back then.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I might as well start the actual game instead of like keeping a rant on in the first introduction. I think it's gone full circle now anyway, the
Yep.
introduction thing.
It's funny.
Oh, wait, here we are. We're in the game.
Oh shit. Oh, hi.
Look, we're actually getting a look of the younger version of Lara, who interestingly enough has already grown a mighty pair of tits.
Ah, fantastic.
Wait, is that against your feminine I mean
No,
feminist
not at
attitude
all.
again?
No, it's just an observation. There's
I,
nothing wrong with that.
the funny thing about this first level, by the way, and this is, I mean, do you think this looks so bad? I think there's actually some DirectX effects going on, so wouldn't even know if this works on a PS1. But um, yeah, this guy that we're with, first of all, her mentor, not very um, you know, not very un un unconventional, I guess.
Right. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I bet he turns out to be the bad guy. I know it.
Oh well, who knows? Who knows? He is German, so
Well, there you go. And was this made by Americans?
I think it was made by Brits, so that's even worse.
Oh, well, yeah, good point.
Oh, wait, right. So, an interesting thing about this first level, it's sort of a, well, I guess, look, the thing is, we're sort of being taken through this in a younger version of Lara, so I think that sort of connects to the whole thing of, a tutorial level as well,
Yeah.
This is where she learns the ropes, I think, in a much better way than the young version of Lara that they tried to set up in the new, like 2013 version of Tomb Raider.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll take your word on that one. Oh, God.
Um, yeah, I won't rant about that right now, but
All right.
yeah, an interesting thing about this is also I think this is the only level that has collectibles in it as a weird extra thing. Look, I'm standing right now. I don't know if you can see it. I'm standing like on top of Golden Skull, which I'm gonna
Oh
pick up right
yeah,
now.
shit. Oh, I didn't know that was a collectible. Okay, all right.
Um,
Cool.
yeah, and yeah, in this level, well, this one was quite obvious, but they're sort of strewn about here in some weird places.
All right,
I don't
okay.
actually know if I'm gonna find all of them, but yeah.
Good men have died for the information contained herein, and cruel men have bartered the information for their own ends. For this we must respect it. We will not deviate from its route, and you will not deviate from my instruction. This way.
You will not deviate from my instruction. It's quite cliche stuff, actually, but yeah. But
Good
well,
stuff.
I guess the first stuff he said was about the tomb itself.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
not
mean,
so much,
he's obviously like oh, look at did you sort of see that, like the spikes that were just retracting when he sort of does that. He manipulates these things in the wall,
Oh,
and
okay.
then this normally had some spikes coming out of it, so I guess he disabled the trap.
First obstacle.
Oh, okay. All right. He's very, very nifty. I can see him very well.
Yes, he must have studied these tombs like,
Push forward.
well, beforehand, I guess. But the
Alright.
interesting thing is, like, I guess I'm sort of talking about it, you know, explaining
This is merely an
what's going on here, but the last time I actually played this game, I was literally 10 years old or something. It was
Oh,
must have been
wow.
like 8 years ago.
Huh.
So this is like a nostalgia trip for me as well. Yeah, basically, you're not missing that much in his dialogue here, in which he's just telling you, like, blatantly which controls to press to jump
Oh.
and all of that, which they still did in the good old games, I guess, you know, where they actually blatantly said, you know, press control plus action to, instead of getting a whole cutscene out and yeah,
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
trying to fit it in their Hollywood story.
Yeah, of course, breaking the fourth wall in some regards when they do that kind of thing. So,
Mhm.
it's funny.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm fine with that. I
Yeah.
like that in some games where it's, you know, where it's sort of at least with third person games, I'm quite alright with being reminded of the fact that I'm playing a game at times, because it's not all about the immersion in that anyway, for which I think first person games, you know, where you're really feeling like you're exploring this world or something.
Yeah,
As opposed to,
exactly.
like
Yeah.
in the original Thief games, that would be more important to just keep the realism in there. But yeah,
Oh,
for
okay.
this kind of game, it is sort of, you know, they are definitely levels that are being designed to sort of maneuver through with some platforming puzzles, stuff like that. So it's not all about the immersion.
Yeah.
But I mean, I quite like the graphical style of it though. I mean, it does have the kinds of I don't know, the sort of mysterious worlds or something.
Yeah, I know. I know. Actually, I know exactly what you're talking about there, because there's just something about the architecture which does kind of bring about that whole kind of like, oh, we're in a very mysterious space, because you've got like this, this waterfall and a pool of some sort being,
I love
you
that.
know,
I
it's
love
being
that.
juxtaposed with these, lovely trees outside, and just the statue-esque imagery.
Yeah,
Obviously it's a head thing
I love,
pouring it
yeah,
out.
yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Like, I love the whole aquatic thing. Sort of gives like, you know, as a thing itself, it sort of gives a sort of a, you know, a sort of calming effect. You know, which blue
yeah,
does to you anyway.
exactly.
I'm actually going to go down here because there's another skull to collect here. But then, of course, the other thing that it brings with it is the abandonedness, you know, um, in combination with the fact that it is all obviously, you know, made by humans.
Yeah,
Like a long
exactly.
time ago, but
Yeah.
it's been abandoned. Like that head was actually shaped by a completely like unknown and mysterious sort of you know, crowd of people, and you know what was going on in their minds when they
Yeah,
made all this
exactly.
also
Yeah.
comes to mind, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
um, Yeah, I mean, they just don't design stuff like this anymore, do they? I
I
mean,
wouldn't know.
but I mean, I like in real life as well. I think
Oh yeah, good point.
I'm pretty sure that there have been architectural things that was sort of similar to this. I don't know if
Yeah,
it would be quite as impressive as to have these types of waterfalls that would also still be, you know, flowing,
yeah.
um, uh, like God knows how many thousands of years later it might be. So this is just, you know, these were a couple of jumps that were progressively getting farther in between, I guess.
Mm.
One of those tutorial things.
But of course, I do like though how they do this. Like, I think it's a really good way to bring about a tutorial by playing as a younger version of Lara herself. I just think that's
Mhm.
great. Like, it's a really good idea. I mean, I assume they must have taken it from somewhere else because I can't think of why someone else wouldn't have done this before. But it is, as I say, it is a good idea to have like a
Well,
younger self.
this is it
So,
is definitely the first time that they bring about um, a younger Lara, but
mm,
it also shows kind of a move to a bit more of a narrative uh, standpoint to the game. Like the earlier games were quite a bit more of you know, dropping the established character of like the adult Lara Croft that was sort of already quite well known, to sort of dropping her into those situations, you know, dropping her into yet another you know, treasure hunt and that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. Whereas this one is trying to set up a bit more of a background as well, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Do we
hold
need
it
to,
action.
we need to wait for the German guy to like finish speaking or what? Because I never know if I should speak over him or not. So
You well, I've spoken over him a few times, but all he's saying, like, mostly right now is just hold action and that sort of stuff.
oh okay.
I guess right up here he is going to actually say something more, I think.
Oh okay. All right.
Yes.
I'll shut up.
The mechanism to activate the bridge lies at the other side of the stream. These rivers cascade through chambers and caverns deep below these prehistoric foothills. As a consequence,
Freezing, I guess. The old gout playing up again, Werner?
She's very sarcastic actually, which I don't like as much.
you can swim by pressing
Yeah.
use the directions.
And now he's actually just explaining the swimming. But yeah, he said earlier, like, you know, how this water actually flows like all the way like underneath these catacombs and everything, and uh, as a result it was freezing is what Lara said.
Uh,
And then she said like, the old gout playing up again, Werner? As in, you know, in this really annoying sarcastic way, as in like, oh, I'm gonna have to be the one to do the work for this, you know, because I'm gonna have to flick a switch somewhere. I just picked up a collectible here, and I think there's like an extra thing that you can pick up here somewhere. Not quite ah, there we are. As a kid, like when I first got this game, that was actually in 1999 for my first swimming diploma that I got. I could I could pick this game out, and I was actually 5 years old back then. I guess, and I saw the collectible down there, but I didn't even dare to dive down there because it was like a scary thing for me to actually dive below the water, because you know it's sort of, I don't know, it's like a one of those stressful things where, like, you know, there's a timer on your breath basically,
oh
you know,
yeah. Yeah.
where it's running out. Oh, it's a dangerous thing to be underwater
Yeah.
because your
Yeah.
breath is running out.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. I think it was the same with me when I played bloody Ape Escape of all things. The similar thing where your breath would run out due to a timer. And I was just, yeah, just kind of get stressed about it. And I think when you're younger, you don't handle that as well, which is interesting. So, yeah. But of course, now we're okay. You know, we can deal with video game characters drowning. So, that's great.
And as you see, I'm basically doing all the work for this guy.
Exactly.
Flicking switches to let him through and that. And yeah, just overall throughout, like...
You will catch your death in those clothes, my dear. A quick sprint up that ladder will dry you out again.
So what is...
Such concern.
Oh,
I never knew you.
Jesus. I never noticed this before, but
You are valuable.
they're really completely being sarcastic
You
with
are
each other.
romantic, you.
Like, oh, Jesus. Fuck. The last thing she just said was, "You are romantic, you." And he
Okay.
basically just said, like, you know, you'll catch yourself a cold in those clothes. Why not take a quick sprint up that ladder to dry yourself off? You know, and basically, you know, putting her to work again. And she just responds in a sarcastic way. Just the relationship that these two have, it's not...
Erotic.
But yeah, it's. I mean, it's not great. I mean, you know, people do have that sometimes where their whole relationship is sarcastic, but that just builds up pressure or something. You know, just everything they say is not really being serious with one another.
Yeah. I guess that's the relationship that these two have, which is kind of creepy since he's an old man and she's not.
Well,
So-
we've sort of got used to that by now, haven't we? Weird
Oh, yeah.
relationships.
Good point, yeah. Inside joke.
I guess. Oh.
That's gonna make it sound kind of creepy, but it's not us. Just to point that out, so yeah.
Look,
no
what has he
worries.
actually got on his back there? He's got all these flags or something on his backpack.
Just various explorer paraphernalia.
Yes, and some nice exploits here again, where you see her
Ugh.
big ass swinging
They
around.
knew what they were doing when they were making this as well. It's just
Yes.
just funny. What can I say?